Hello, beautiful. I'm 2 minutes behind schedule, so I am getting my microphone in order. Hopefully, the sound quality is good and great, and all the good things. Let me see. So the last time that I had done this, I didn't. I see. I see a few people are here. If you can hear me well, again, just put in the comment box that you can hear me. Hopefully, I'll be able to see you. Okay. Hey, Keshna. Perfect. Oh man. So, hmm, I'm excited, but then my head is all over the place at the same time because I get really passionate and I get excited. I have a lot of ideas in my head. So I just want to, feel into the moment, breathe, step into. I didn't get to do my feminine allure practice before coming on because Amelia is here. And so we had a parents as teacher meeting right before. So I'm just using this time just to kind of like calm down. I'm running a little bit behind schedule. And so I thank you for bearing with me. But today I want to talk about the missing piece, like the missing element in your femininity training. So I am up all hours of the night. I guess my body is preparing me for my breast pumping schedule, and I just be up. And so I was working on some more of the content that I'm going to be sharing in the Sacred Beauty Circle, which is going to start tonight. And I was so excited. Like I really turned myself on by what's going to be revealed and shared in this circle, in the program, in the training. And I don't want to hype it up because you know how you watch a movie and someone can tell you like, "Oh, that movie was so good, you got to go see it. It's the bomb." And then you see it and you're like, "It wasn't really all that." Or someone says, "You got to try this restaurant. Everything was so great about it." Da 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 da. And you get it, you're like, it was just okay. So I don't want to hype it up, but I will say that I'm really excited about this new body of work that I'm introducing in terms of, when it comes to your femininity, when it comes to femininity in general, right? And especially your feminine allure, there are really two parts, and I've shared this before. You have the feminine appearance, the feminine look. And oftentimes this is really the gateway. So you'll see a lot of people talking about femininity now. And they're talking about, the basic stuff. But there's a deeper level. There's a deeper level. And so when there's the feminine appearance, and then you have the feminine manner, the feminine way of being, and then those two combined really creates your feminine allure, right? And when a woman steps into her feminine allure, you operate in a place of influence. I've said this before. We women influence men way more than they will ever influence us. And men have been conditioned to obey women beginning with their mothers. If you are new to me, this is your first time, I'm Monique Head. I work with single women of faith, and I help you to feel really confident on your journey to meet your Mr. Right so you can have a lifelong living relationship. And I teach you how to use your feminine allure to attract and communicate with the right man, and then use those same skills to apply to other areas of your life. I've shared this before. I typically work with women who are a little rough around the edges. So you struggle because you're a little rough around the edges. You struggle with having and finding love because of it. Maybe you attract men, but they don't commit. Maybe men are just staring at you, but they don't approach. Because you know what I always say, that you are being watched, my dear. Men are always watching. They're sizing you up and wondering, do I have the green light? Right? Is this what I want to step into? No, I don't offer couples counseling. I don't know. I only work with the women. And I believe that it doesn't, I believe that it really just takes one, and that we women are really the keepers. And so this is why it is important that women are in a circle. Women are really in a community so that you can flourish. There's a proverb that says, I wrote it down last night. What does it say? The most beautiful flowers flourish in the shade. So before I even get into it, what I really want to tell you is sometimes you have to go under. You have to be in your cocoon so that you can emerge a butterfly. But being in your cocoon doesn't mean that you look like you're in a cocoon. You know, when the Bible talks about fasting, you're not supposed to look like you're fasting, right? You want to still have an approachable, like, you know, just everybody don't need to know your business. Everybody don't need to know, like, you taking this femininity training and you telling the men in your life about how you're doing and what you're working on your feminine allure and this and that. Because it's like, well, who are you trying to convince? Who are you trying to prove? Right? So a woman must be able to keep something for herself. And sometimes you have to go underground, and knowing that when you go underground, knowing that when you are getting training, when you're investing in yourself, when you're investing in mentorship, and you're doing it especially in the community of women who are also investing in themselves, it really serves as a catalyst. It serves as a catalyst to propel you to the next level. Okay, so I'm a young tenderoni. Teach me, absolutely. Well, you're in the right place, girlfriend. So, is feminine allure only for single women? No, you know, there are different levels for feminine allure. I just happen to work with single women. And so, nope, it's not just for single women. There are different levels to it. You know, coming in September, I will be married 5 years, and I do foresee myself working with wives who are fairly new in the game. And that's a whole nother beast. That's another beast, ladies. So, because I like to keep my program sacred, I think that the challenges of a wife is different than the challenge of a woman who is in a relationship or engaged. Well, a relationship, and depending upon what stage she's in, like how long they've been together, committed, monogamous relationship, and those of a a woman who's not in a relationship, they're different. They're different issues, different challenges, and so it's important that when I have members in my programs, it's important that I keep that container safe and sacred. Okay, so there's not a lot of entanglement and like commingling and things like that with the issues, so that women feel seen, they feel heard, they feel acknowledged, they feel understood, and then from that place they can make progress. But anyway, to answer your question, Gabriel, yes, this is a different kind of program. So can a woman in her 20s join the program tonight? Yeah, this is a different kind of program because we're focusing on the fun. I'm teaching you about your influence style. And the women, like the ages really range. Generally, I work with women who are like 30 up, 30 plus. Some of my clients are like 28, 27 if they're really mature. But you know yourself, if it really appeals to you, if it calls you forth, then jump in. Why not? Okay, so I like to again work with mature women who are committed to what it takes. I don't like to work with women who are like, oh, let me test this out and see what she's saying. If that's where you're coming from, that's not for you. If you haven't decided that this is what you want for your life, if you haven't decided that, you know what, I do want an amazing relationship with an amazing man. I do want to be married and under the favor of God. I do want to make sure that I'm equipped so that, if I decide to have children, if you're a woman who doesn't have children as yet, that you're not giving birth to a generation of wimps, that you feel confident in who you're choosing, and you know that you want that for yourself. You're not fantasizing like, oh, I wish I can have it, and then you haven't decided yet. Those are not my people. Okay, those are not my people. If you just want you just want to test it out and get all these crumbs online, then you can only get so far with that. So anyway, let me get into it. So what am I talking about? So the missing element to your femininity training. So I was working on some of the content, that I'm going to be sharing and revealing tonight. And week 1 is really just about tapping into your feminine allure. And so the thing is that we have been focused and we have been groomed to always to like look the part. And don't get me wrong, a woman's image is her calling card to great things, to many things, right? Do not get me wrong. I am not downplaying it. Looks are important. They are a gateway because people judge you based on, that 12 by 12 by 12 rule. The first, was it 12 feet away, then 12 inches away, and the first 12 words that come out of, our mouths. So is it unfortunate? Yeah, but is it reality? Yeah. So, when you're going for a job interview, if you have wisdom and discernment, you're gonna look the part. You're gonna study to show thyself approved. You're gonna investigate. You're going to do some research on the company, on the role, so that you can come prepared and that you have intention. But a lot of times, what I've seen and what I notice is that, we can look the part, especially when it comes time for a job. We look the part when it comes time for a date, but yet we don't, like, we're showing up with lip gloss and pretty hair and toes are done, but yet there's still a missing piece where you feel stuck, where you feel like you're focusing on looks in the looks department and it's not really yielding results. Excuse me for a moment. Like your skin is glowing and you believe that you've done your part. You've been watching the videos, you speak slower, you saunter a little bit, you have a soft voice, and maybe even lost some weight. Like you're using this time, you've lessened your sugar intake, but at the same time, you're not really getting the results that you want. Like you feel like your glow up is real and you're proud of your efforts, but you're tired of the missed connections. Having men find you attractive is great, but it's not enough if there's no alignment, right? So it's not enough if they're not attracted enough to want to take you out. It's not enough if they're not attractive enough to call you consistently. It's not attract. You're not. It's the attraction there is not enough if, you know, they're just coming in with that one line text. And let's say you're participating in some online dating, right? So you're on the right track because any woman can capture a man's attention, with her physical appearance. However, the woman who truly captivates men, the woman who is operating and stepping in her feminine allure, knows that she has influence. And when you have influence, you, mm, mhm. When you're stepping into this place, you can affect a man's reasoning and his thinking and his actions. It's deep, but it ain't deep. It's deep, but it ain't really deep though. Oh man. So before you can even get to that, like before you can even get to the level of impacting another, it requires mastery of yourself. It requires that you are able to go underground. It requires that you honor your sacred beauty. It requires that you see yourself the way that God sees you. It requires that you understand that you are royalty. So you just don't go for nothing in anything. You have to show up in a way that inspires, that captures, that raises, that impels not only men, impels your family, impels society to want to be more, not just buy more. This is a season where you want to be more. And it's starting with your belief. I've talked about, the cycle of beauty and really activating that. Because beauty impacts your being, your being impacts your belief. And it's all really connected. It's all connected. This is that entanglement that happens. So that even if you're not the prettiest woman, a man could be looking at you and be like, man, there's just something about her. I don't know what it is. You know what? You're not even really my type. And whether you think that's a compliment or a insult, just depends on how you take it. But what I'm saying is that there is something different when you're operating in your feminine allure, right? You have a confidence and a je ne sais quoi that is unmatched. You can walk into a room and you light it up. People are able to feel something from you because you're able to create that emotional bond and that emotional connection. So let me go to the comments to see what's here for a moment. Yeah. So if you have questions, I'm gonna be addressing them a little bit. If you have some questions, and if I feel if it's in the scope within my approach and the work that I'll do, I'll answer it. So go ahead and post your questions so that it's a little lag. We can really be prepared for that. Um, where else do I want to go with this? Beauty, your feminine appearance, your feminine way of being, your feminine manner. All of that is working together to create and operate. Like it's working together for the purpose of your feminine allure. And even more than that, if you don't get into believing, right? Because especially as a woman of faith, like we know that God can do it. You know that you believe that God has like a perfect man for you. You believe that you could like have more confidence. Like he can do it, but there's something like there's this little bitty catch that you don't really believe that it's going to happen for you, right? So I remember listening to Dr. Cindy Trim, who is an amazing woman in the faith. If you're not familiar with her, you can Google her. Not now, once we're done. But I was listening to, I think, a podcast, and she was on, I think, a Sid Roth's podcast. And one of the things that I heard her say, and I'm just really paraphrasing, is that she said that she was believing God for her ministry. She was really believing God for super success and really, really prospering her. But she didn't believe that God will work in her love life. And I was like, wow, that's so real. Because typically the woman that I work with, you're very successful, you're ambitious, you're driven, you're going for it, and you have control in that part of your life. But when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love, you feel like you're out of control, and you're not, even the efforts that you're putting, they're not yielding the results that you want. And oftentimes it's because I believe that you have advice that is, you're getting perspective that is well-meaning, but it's ill-advised. I get a lot of emails and messages about different Facebook groups and different things that are like very, like what's somebody saying? Facebook groups like don't marry somebody who's that you actually like, or like if you love that person, don't marry him, or just really it's some nonsense. It's really tricks. It's just straight up tricks, and I'm just gonna say it's just straight up garbage. And I think it comes from a place of fear. It comes from this perspective of I'm not getting hurt, and people are making it seem cool to be like, what's the word? My pregnancy brain has kicked in. I don't know. Well, you just kind of like, I'm too cool for school. Like I'm untouchable. I'm invincible. I'm impenetrable. I don't feel. And that's not a part of your femininity. That's not a part of your feminine spirit. And in your pursuit of feminine allure, it is important that you feel, because if not, you are cutting off one of the most powerful forces of the feminine. So I'm really just kind of going off the dome today. And hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down. Let me see if you have any questions that I can address really quickly. What's good? What has resonated with you and what I said? Like what has been an aha for you? Yeah, thank you. Don't forget to share this live. If your first time your first time watching, yeah, don't forget to share this. Yeah, guarding your heart doesn't mean that you don't have one. Being rude and having a superior attitude is a trend now. Yeah, it's like, but why though? Who benefits from that? And what does a woman gain from that? Because at the end of the day, it sounds good, but it really is just pure hurt. Yeah, so let me see what I said. Let me see what else is going on here. If you continue to show up, if you continue to focus on the feminine appearance, you'll continue to have misconnections. You'll continue to wonder if there's something wrong with you. You'll continue to be like, well, I look the part, but what is going on? What is he doing with her? She ain't even all that. I look better than her. I do this and I do that. All of this doing, and not enough really being. Not enough having the power to say, you know what? This is me. This is what I like. This is an invitation for you to this is an invitation. And you can join it and or not, right? This is what's available. Because the truth is, men are a symptom, and what you're experiencing in life, and it's not just men, whatever you're experiencing in your life is really what's happening. It's a symptom of what's happening in your mind and also what's really happening in your heart. And so this is what I'm saying. In terms of your femininity, the missing link to is a sisterhood, right? Because if you're not a part of a sisterhood, if you're not a part of like a circle, what happens is that those men who are in your life, right, you begin to spill and spew and share everything. Number one, to the point where you decrease your mystique, but also to the point where they are really impacted by what you're saying. I know this from experience. Trust me on this, okay? So it is important, especially for women, to be around a sacred community of other women who are moving in high levels, right? You're elevated by association. There's a proverb that says, "Show me your friends, I'll show you your future." Or, some of the quote says, you are like the 5 people that you hang around the most. So if you are at a point in your life where you are really, really ready to elevate, maybe you may or may not be ready for a relationship right now, but you know that this is something that you want and you want to feel prepared. You want to have the relationship readiness skills, because the truth is, the deep love that you're craving, it starts within. And your ability to believe that you can have what you want, your capacity to have a healthy relationship, your capacity and your belief in yourself to attract the type of man that you want and just sustain it and progress it, happens well before he crosses your path. Okay? And then there's the issue of, okay, I got what I want and I'm going to slack off. Or there's this issue of, okay, whatever else can come up, all the other mindset things, like, do I have what it takes for the long haul? Am I enough? Or maybe even going into self-sabotage and poking and creating chaos and playing games because you don't know how to assert yourself. So I know what I'm talking about ain't really sexy, but those who have ear to hear will hear, right? This is not for everybody. This is really for select few. So if this appeals to you, I want you to know that the Sacred Beauty Circle is open. You can click on the link below in the description box while it's available. If you don't feel like this is for you right now and you want to learn more about me, you can click on the links below that and access my free masterclass. I reveal the steps that my clients have used to find and keep Mr. Right. Okay, so with that, I've shared enough for today. Let's go into the question zone. All right, so what do you think about men who waste a woman's time? Well, I believe it's up to a woman to determine when when her time is being wasted, and to be able to make a decision from there. When I hear a man is wasting a woman's time, I hear that the responsibility is put on the man when it's out of order, right? So this is why you have to get clear. This is step 1 of the Feminine Allure formula. You have to know what you want. And if you don't know what you want, a woman will experience that and be like, he's just wasting my time. He's wasting my time. And it's okay to acknowledge that. But if you acknowledge that and you allow it to happen, like you haven't decided whether you want to leave or whether you want to go, then it just creates NET, needless emotional turmoil. So hopefully you got my perspective on that. Securing the bag. Supposedly they're securing the bag. You know what? Securing whose bag? Let me tell you something. This is 2020. I remember in 2015, I was working in healthcare, compliance director for a nursing home. And there was a study that was out. It was called 40% or 41% and rising, which says that 41% of American households, the woman is the primary breadwinner, and that number is growing. So I don't know about y'all, but times are different. Times are different. And this is why stepping in more operating your feminine allure, understanding your influence is more important than ever, because there are a lot of successful women who are making way more money than the men. And that number is continuing to grow, especially for Black women who are extremely educated. A lot of Black men are incarcerated. There's a lot of propaganda, what I believe is propaganda, in terms of creating friction and division and tension between Black love and Black families. And that's really important to me, because I know that my mantle is family. And this is why it's so important for women to, number one, be in community with each other, right? To share and to prosper and to grow, but also have the skills. Because like I said, I grew up in a single parent home. Like, my father was a part of my life, but I grew up in a single parent home, and there were issues that I had that I didn't even know until I had gotten married. And so that's why I do the work that I do. We teach what we need to learn the most, right? Okay, what other questions do we have? Yeah, believing that you're worthy, believing that you're worthy of love. That's what this is about. Will this seminar have a positive effect on my overall personality, attraction? Um, Come on, Linda, you've been familiar with me for some time. What do you think? So what I can say the bottom line is that when you walk away, really the bottom line for the Sacred Beauty Circle is that you'll walk away in a new sense of confidence. You'll feel like if you felt that you were more confident when you were younger and life was easier, we're going to work to restore that so that you can walk away, like I said before, in a je ne sais quoi that is unmatched. But you have to really set the intention. Don't put the pressure on me to be like, is this going to do this? You have to come ready and believing that this is what you want. And if you're not there yet, then it may not be for you right now. So I'm going to leave that up to you to decide. Do you believe that this is something that's going to have a positive effect on your overall personality? All right, y'all. Yeah, so the doors are going to be open for a few more days. If you're on my email list and you know, like you're a part of my tribe, then you totally know that we're going to keep the doors open for a few more days. I'm really excited about it. So if it, like I said, if it's calling you forward, go ahead and jump in. Yeah, go ahead and pick it. You can click on the link below in the description box and you'll find the information there. I see this question. What are your thoughts on a woman working and having her own just in case? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think women should be self-sufficient. Every woman is different. It really depends on the intention. So if you're coming from a place of just in case, there's already this. It's already it's not the personality or the mindset of a winner, right? So I get it. I get it. This is the hurt. Like this is the hurt. That's like I should have this just in case this kind of happens. So a smart woman will be, you'll have your own little play money. You'll, however you and your relationship, however you decide to do that. But I think it really just depends on the intent. So if you're coming in already thinking that this is not going to work out, then what are you setting yourself up for? Because your words have power and your words have memory. So you have to be careful about what you are really speaking over your life. The Bible says that life and death lie in the power of the tongue. So you want to make sure that you are using your words to edify, not only edify and equip your own spirit, but to be able to edify the environment around you and even influence you like your man, your partner, right? So that's kind of out of the scope of what I normally do, but it is like a mind. That's really out of the scope of what I do. That's something that's more so for the wives, but there's a deeper issue there. There's a deeper issue, and it's more than what we can get to on like a live where I don't know you and can't see you and really understand your situation. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful. All right, ladies. Is distance important in feminine allure? I do believe that absence makes the heart grow fonder. I think that, being able to keep yourself is okay. Like it does create a sense of desire, and a little distance is okay. It just depends on what you mean by that and what that looks like. Okay. Yeah, sure. So anything could happen to anyone. I guess that's the question for the question about like having your own just in case. As long as it's clear, like, in my marriage, we have a joint account and I have a private account. So take what you will. Eat the meat and spit out the bone. All right. All right, ladies. So that concludes today's Sacred Beauty series. Today's Tuesday. I'll be here again tomorrow at the same time. Go ahead and share. Just invite 2 women that you know, because when you share, you add value. I am Monique Head, and I'll see you tomorrow. God willing. Take care. Bye.